Hello, everybody, and welcome to Two Buddies and a Lot of Conspiracies. Eddie, what do you think of our Bilderberg overlords here?
Well, I can't stop staring at their two monoculars, which
Monocles.
makes
They're called
glasses.
monocles because
Monocles.
the AI
Monocles,
doesn't
sorry.
understand a monocle goes on one damn eye. So,
You just want one? Nah, you get two.
that's it. So they get the stupid goggles, I guess, from what is it that oh, what's that stupid cartoon movie that they made? The Incredibles. Incredibles 2. So they get that stupid glasses, the goggles from Incredibles 2 to manipulate us and mind control us. That's what they got. So I guess
That's
AI.
the way. That's the way to go.
I mean, honestly, I would love to have those goggles. I would just walk up to girls and just like be like, "Hey, spin the wheel." And then okay, let's get off that. But the now would be nice. So today we are going to be discussing the Bilderberg Group. What do you know, or have you even heard about the Bilderberg Group?
No, I have not heard about them.
Okay.
Like this one, I know absolutely nothing about the group.
Nada. Okay.
No, nothing.
And just to start with, you left off at what?
4.5. We were at
Was
4.5.
it a 4.5 or was it a 5?
Uh, was it a 5?
I think you were at a 5 because you jumped up 0.5% because we were literally just
Yeah,
talking
you're
about
right. You're
barcodes.
right. Yeah, you're right.
And those
Yeah, so
barcodes
we're at a 5.
are a 666, which is funny because like I literally I haven't found anything that doesn't have a 666 in the barcode, so maybe there is something to it. So okay, so Eddie is at a 5 to
Uh,
start with.
Quick side note. Remember that we discovered that it's only on products. Like if it's like a shipping label with the barcode or
Oh,
everything,
true.
it does not have 666.
True. Yeah. So Amazon, no, not Amazon, like UPS, FedEx, those
UPS,
barcodes.
USPS, yes.
Actually, you know what though? I almost feel like ordering a bunch of shit that's coming from FedEx and see if that's true. Because I think we saw one, right? You had like one thing.
No, I had a USPS and UPS, and
Okay.
they don't have
Well, those start like the UPS starts with the 1Z, and that's like the start of their thing. But I'm going to tell you, though, that you just looked at the tracking code. You probably didn't look at all the other barcodes that were on the box, and there might have been another 666.
yeah, probably. I don't know. But
But here's the only
inside
thing,
the
though.
T-shirt.
It might have been. Yeah, right, exactly. The only thing, though, was if you remember actually what they were saying was they were talking about buying and selling. So if they were talking about buying and selling only, then those it would be just on the product actually itself, barcode 666, not the transferring of it, not the shipping of it, not any of that. So they're probably, I think you are probably right, where FedEx and UPS are not going to show anything besides that. It's just going to be a matter of the product itself is going to have the 666. So fun. But okay, so as far as the Bilderberg Group, you have no recollection nor have you heard much about it, right? Okay. So here's the topics that we're going to discuss. So it's what they want you to think, right? Because I got one quick video. There's a ton of videos. Well, not really. There's a handful of videos out there, and I found what I could, and I put them kind of in here, and I think I've got them somewhat in order. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what they want you to think. And then there's like a afterwards, like that they actually do people on the street, or man on the street interviews. But then the next thing is Alex Jones and Jim Tucker in 2006. Then we're gonna briefly look at the Logan Act, which is interesting, which I don't think anybody's really heard of until you see this. And then types of people connected. And then Paul Joseph Watson, his quick little video about the Bilderberg Group, which was from, I want to say, I think it was like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that. It was back when he was actually still doing stuff for InfoWars. And then the Bilderberg Group 2025, I found a video about that. Then there's a quick video recap. Because I was originally going to do, like, here's an example, a 21-minute long video of an example of the things that these guys do that possibly could show up. But it talks a lot about the New World Order, and I know we're going to get to the New World Order in this book, and so I'll probably save that long-ass clip for then. And then the closing. So these are our main topics for today. Do you have any questions, insights, thoughts on the matter that you'd like to... Oh, let me tell you. So, the Bilderberg Group is a meeting every year from the ultra-wealthy and politicians get together, and it's a closed-door meeting. No one can talk about it. No one can really talk about what happens in it, and they say it doesn't rule us, okay? Oh, shit. Let me read this clown. So... Let me read what the fucking clown says. So I swore already in the first couple minutes, whatever. So I'll read the first paragraph and then the last paragraph's like, you guys hear me talking for like 20 minutes. Okay, let me just read the first paragraph first and then I'll read his alert level. You ready for that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the Bilderberg Group. The problem with being rich, powerful, and influential these days is that ordinary people just don't understand you. It's only other rich, powerful, influential people to whom you can really relate, spend quality time with. So along with the invitation to a party on down... Oh, wait, okay. So along with the invitation to a party on down at Bohemian Grove, which we'll do in the next video, comes membership of a very exclusive, no-holds-barred talking shop, the Bilderberg Group. All right, so that's the first paragraph. And then... Oh, you know what, I'll read the last, like, sentence and a half and then the alert level. So, as conspiracy theory journalist Alasdair Sparks says, the idea that a shadowy clique is running the world is nothing new. Shouldn't we expect that the rich and powerful organize things in their own interests? It's called capitalism. So that's from the guy. And the Bilderberg Group secretly rule the world. Alert level 4. So again, just about as far away from the alien shit. I hate this guy. But yeah, I do. So like, so you really don't think that these rich and powerful people are literally sitting there deciding what we're going to do next? Do you really think so? Exactly. Fucking A, man. Okay. So now let's ask Eddie. Any questions, concerns? Well, probably a lot of concerns, but any questions or things you want to bring up before we roll into the first section here?
I think we should just go roll into it.
Let's roll it. Let's take. I think you look almost Hispanic in that image. I don't like.
Kinda, somewhat.
You're kind of Indian. AI still doesn't understand Latino versus Indian, but that's all right. Well, one day it might understand. I have red hair most of the time, don't I?
Or what if it's AI is so advanced that they do that on purpose to deceive people that AI is still not smart enough?
You know what? About that? I have actually thought about that. and I think you're actually somewhat onto the game here. That because honestly, if you watch some of these other guys, it's like my lunch break. When you look at all these Wikipedia entries for all these buildings that have come up, it's like it's definitely was written by an AI. And it's like, so if the Wikipedia has been all written by AI with all these different things, and Wikipedia isn't that young, so Wikipedia has been around for a long time. So I bet you they've actually had AI for a long time, and they're only like slowly piecing it back out to us to let us try and coach it, and then that way it looks like, oh yeah, see, you idiots coached it. Now it's going to replace you clowns. You fucks. What did you do? It's all you guys. It wasn't us. See, we didn't set this all up. It was you guys helping it. So yeah, honestly, I think you're onto something.
I wouldn't doubt it.
No,
because like AI has been around like since I was in college in the 2018 to 2020. We were already like in certain softwares that we had to do. We had to implement a little bit of AI. Like obviously it was not to the degree of right now, like ChatGPT and so forth.
Well, you mean by access to people using it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if we could have somewhat of a code of an AI to start learning, like to save up information and so forth from databases, I just, it bugs my mind that it, like, what, 7 years later, it's still almost the same. So
it's still stupid, right? It should be a lot.
Yeah, no, I doubt it heavily.
I'm with you. And that's probably these fucks, the Bilderberg group, that got us going that way. They're like, hey, let's keep AI stupid so they think they're smarter than it, even though it's replacing all their gerbs. Oh, boy. Fun.
That's the best of it all, too. Yeah.
It really is. All right, so that's it then.
Yep, we're good to go. Okay.
So this first one here, I think you're gonna like. It has like last video we had where we actually had journalists. This will have an actual. Wait, no, this won't. Nah, I guess these are like citizen journalists. The next one you're gonna like because he's an old-fashioned journalist where he actually like went into shit. Okay. All right, so this is going to be what they want you to think, okay? So be ready. Once you hear that, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, that's totally what they want to think. Okay, you ready?
Yep, go for it.
Here we go.
Paul Desmarais Sr. In fact, nearly every Canadian Prime Minister back to Pierre Elliott Trudeau has worked for Power Corp.
I attended one Bilderberg meeting. I'm not sure they ever invited me back, but just to make sure, I've also gone to a Maple Leaf hockey game. That doesn't mean I'm a Maple Leaf fan. Yeah. I believe
politicians.
that there is an opportunity now with the G20 having been called for the first time for us to put together a global steering committee of all of the great powers of the world. If I was asked what is the single most important thing that can be done to get us out of this mess, it is going to be to recognize now that we are one common humanity, divided perhaps into economic entities called countries. The time has come for us to work together.
In 1996, you were at a Bilderberg meeting, and also there was Jean Chrétien and Paul Martin.
I don't know if I was at that meeting. I've only been to a few of them, but Bilderberg and Tralala are not really think tanks. They simply individuals who get together who are from business, the political world, the media, others, and discuss ideas. And they influence each other through that.
Shortly after Dan and Steve got back from the Bilderberg meeting in Chantilly, I decided to file some Access to Information Act requests for information on both Alison Redford, the Premier of Alberta, and for Nigel S. Wright, who is the Chief of Staff for Prime Minister Stephen Harper. I received 2 notices. One was for Nigel S. Wright, and it actually revealed very little. They just said that they didn't have any record of him having attended the Bilderberg meeting in Chantilly, even though he was on the official attendees list. In 2011, the Harper government decided to amend the Access to Information Act and privacy request forms, making it so that anybody that was on the Prime Minister's cabinet was exempt from releasing any personal information.
Seems legit.
In the case of Alison Redford, the Premier of Alberta, I did receive actually quite a big disclosure from their Executive Council office in Alberta. 31 pages were disclosed to me just the other day. All sorts of different pages have notices to destroy these emails, do not release this this information to the public. Do not release any information about your travel itinerary prior to attending the meeting. But a lot of the stuff is redacted. A lot of this information is redacted out. That's cited under different sections of the Privacy Protection Act, which is goes hand in hand with the Access to Information Act request. So any other information that was in there about other people has been redacted out. There's also a page in here that describes the nature of the meetings off the record. Fruitful discussions are enhanced by an atmosphere of mutual trust in which participants can express themselves freely. All discussions are therefore private and off the record. The press is excluded from the meetings. A list of participants will be released to the press on the eve of the conference. There's nothing to hide. If you're doing good things, you don't have anything to hide. There's only something to hide if you don't want people hearing what you're saying. That's the only reason to say it off the record, is that you wouldn't want to be quoted on something that could be damaging to your career.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment.
How do you feel about secrecy in government?
Scary thing. I mean, it's secret, so I don't really know much about it.
I can understand if the secrecy is for national security, but you know, secrecy and covering up, you know, financial documents and things like that. I think as taxpayers, you know, we have the right to know what's going on in our government.
I think secrecy is pretty inherent in the Canadian government, for sure, and in all government. I wish it wasn't that way. I wish government was completely democratic, which would mean that we would be a part of it. But seeing as like we have representatives in this house deciding on issues for us, secrecy kind of just comes with that.
I honestly don't think it's a good idea for anybody to be secret. I don't think anything should be secret. I think if anything needs to be said, it needs to be said in front of the people here that can hear it.
We elect people to govern us in a democratic way, and when those people fall, you know, prey to, you know, individuals that have money or, you know, have leverage on them, it's no different than a dictatorship.
When you have like government officials and then you have financiers and like heads of like banks meeting behind closed doors, that's already against the law. So there's a lot of things happening that I think the people need to wake up to and actually come out and stand against it.
It's the job of you guys to get out there and inform the real people that need to know what's really going on, because we have really no idea. And without you guys, we wouldn't be around to know, so.
The more independent media that covers events like this, or like anything, gives a more unbiased opinion, considering how slanted our current media is.
It doesn't have to be a, you know, massive media tycoon that's controlling what's being said anymore. You know, the average person can do it, right? Which is, I mean, you know, that's an amazing feat. We didn't have that 50 years ago. We didn't have that at all.
It's time to get it out there. We should at least know.
Okay. So, gives you a little bit of information and kind of what they want you to think as far as just talking shop. Don't worry about what we're talking about, right?
And well, the thing that threw me off right away is when, like, one of the guys, he agreed that he attended to one of these. So, like, okay, that's a good start.
Yeah. That
So it is.
That guy was one of the prime ministers, I think, of
Yes.
Canada.
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 So that's what I'm like. Okay, so this is real. This happens.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so it definitely it's a real thing. Every single year, the Bilderberg Group does actually convene, or they get together. So they have a meeting, and it's all just like what you saw in that breakdown. It was like they don't give a list of who's gonna be there. They don't, and once we get to the Paul Joseph Watson one, I think you're gonna like that one a lot. But they do. They all get together, and it's politicians and the heads of the corporations all get together, and wealthy business owners, they all get together and they meet. So you'll see a slide on that too. But any questions you got about the Canadians besides how they say out?
No.
No.
Well, they say
A
out.
boot.
Boot.
That's it. I don't understand why. I still, of all the years that I've been alive for a little while now, I still don't understand why, as you go further north and you cross the border, they sound a boot, or like the North Dakota, right? Is it North Dakota? I think that does the same thing, the boot. And it's like, okay, I could get it, but like,
So.
why does the accent change a little bit? I don't understand why when you go a little bit further north, they stop talking exactly the same and they start adding in like emphasis on certain things. It's just weird. I don't know. It's weird.
Okay, why not? Well, we can.
I guess you can do whatever you want. Yeah. If you want to say a boot, you can say a boot. But yeah, it just sounds silly to me, man.
It just gets to the point where like, fuck it, we can say it.
Fuck it, a boot.
Why not?
Yeah.
A boot.
A boot. Okay. All right. So then nothing else, right?
No.
Okay. You're going to like all this, I think. Okay. Why did I go to the Logan Act now? All right. So let's read about the Logan Act, because I wanted to do this, I think, after the next video we watched, but I guess we're going to learn about it now. So I will go ahead and read the left side. I'll make you read the right side.
I'll read the right side.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So this here. So just to preface this, you're gonna hear the Logan Act in the next video.
Okay.
It should have been after. Like I should have put this after, but I guess I didn't want us to read too much in like one single setting. So the Logan Act is a 1799 U.S. law that prohibits private citizens from communicating with foreign governments or their agents with the intent to influence the conduct of the foreign government in relation to any dispute or controversy in the United States, or to defeat the U.S. measures. Named after Pennsylvania legislator George Logan, who engaged in unofficial negotiations with France to de-escalate tensions with the U.S., it is intended to protect the executive branch's control over foreign relations and can carry a penalty of a fine or imprisonment up to 3 years. Though rarely enforced, shocker, the law remains valid and has been cited in discussions concerning potential violations by figures like Mike Flynn and more recently Donald Trump, because we like to throw him under the bus all the time. Donald Trump's post-presidential communications. Purpose and origin. Preventing interference. The primary goal of the Logan Act is to prevent private citizens from interfering in foreign diplomacy, which was a concern during rising tensions between the U.S. and France in the late 18th century. Executive prerogative. The law created to safeguard the executive branch's authority in foreign policy matters and to ensure that only authorized government agents conduct U.S. diplomacy, which, I'm kind of for and against. Named for George Logan. The act was named after George Logan, who traveled to France to negotiate with the government as a private citizen, prompting the Federalist Party to push forward the legislation to prevent such unauthorized actions. Okay.
What it prohibits: unauthorized communication. Any U.S. citizen who, without the authority of the United States, communicates with the foreign government or its agents. Influence and intent. This communication must have the intent to influence the foreign government's actions in a dispute with the U.S. or the undermine U.S. policies.
Or 200
Enforce,
policies.
enforcement and status. Rarely prosecuted. The Logan Act is often described as a dead letter because it has been rarely, if ever, successfully prosecuted since its enactment. Constitutional status. While the law's vagueness has raised questions including potential First Amendment concerns, legal opinions affirm its constitutional validity and ongoing enforceability unless repealed by Congress. Repealed, sorry. Modern relevance. The law has been evoked in discussions and calls for investigations with prominent figures such as former National Security Advisor Mike Flynn or former President Donald Trump have engaged in unauthorized communications with foreign officials.
Okay.
The only reason I was laughing because right now when I was reading it and I screw up in a few words, the only thing I can think of it was that movie Big Daddy from Adam Sandler when the kid is when the kid is reading and he I was gonna tell you, you always get the easy ones.
That's it. I do. Yeah, I purposely picked the left side. That's it. Hip hop anonymous.
Hip hop anonymous.
That's a great. Honestly, that scene, I love that scene. I do. The rest of the movie, I could kind of leave, but that was like the best scene of the whole movie. It's when he's trying to read all these fucking things. But yeah, so I want to say I figured out why I put this first, because the Logan Act, you're going to see that these guys talk about the Logan Act a lot through the next couple of videos. Not so much that they talk about the Logan Act, but they talk about foreign government relations and what they should be doing with foreign things to our politicians from our corporations who shouldn't have any way, shape, or form. They really shouldn't be involved in any of that shit. So, but as you've seen from even Google AI says, they don't really prosecute it. They don't really do anything with it. It's just like a fake law that's out there, which we have a lot of fake
nothing
laws.
really happens, pretty much.
Right, exactly. Don't worry about it. They're okay. These are our guys, okay? Once you become one of our guys, then we can maybe cover you also. But if you and I were to sit down with Vladimir Putin and talk about what we should do moving forward, guess what you and I would be doing?
I don't know.
Going to prison.
Oh.
They would hit us with this, be like, oh, you violated the Logan Act. You guys are going to prison. But yet everybody else can do it. So, yeah. So any other questions you got maybe about the Logan Act?
Tell me that things are not fair.
No, things are not fair, Eddie. Come on, man. You know better than that. You know things aren't fair for you and I. Things are fair for the moneyed group, the Bilderberg group, or the people that activate or go to the Bohemian Grove thing, the weird thing, which is a weird thing. I'm curious about that one. That's going to be, not so much that I'm curious about that. I'm curious about how I'm going to put videos together for that, because I know that's weird. But the Bilderberg group, yeah. So it's a random group of people that get together and talk about things that probably they shouldn't be talking about with our politicians. So yeah, so next we should be going into the video with Alex Jones and Jim Tucker, which is the one I was kind of bringing up before. You're going to like Jim Tucker a lot, or somewhat. But yeah, so any other questions about the Logan Act before we hear Alex Jones say the words Logan Act?
No, so far so good. I think we should go to the video.
Okay, good. Here we go. Rock and roll. All right, so this is the video with Jim Tucker. This is, honestly, this video is like a hour and a half, 2 hours long, something like that, and then it like cuts off abruptly, which is weird because this is one of Alex Jones's Endgame videos that talks about the New World Order that's going to take over, which is true. But okay, so you ready?
Go for it, man.
Okay.
This group is meeting with government officials that violates federal law, the Logan Act. And
this is why
for decades they
the
said
Logan
it didn't even
Act
exist.
first.
This is the real oligarchs that run our government, run Europe, run most of the world, the big central banks, and the fraud that they engage in. These are the real tyrants. So we're identifying them, not the puppet presidents and prime ministers. We're going directly to the financial oligarch, the robber barons.
Yeah, the bankers are in control. And then I cut it.
Etienne Davignon is the honorary chairman of the Bilderberg Group, as well as the head of its steering committee.
The steering committee is who
The
picks
committee
people
he
to be there.
heads selects and invites each year's attendees. In the last decade, the list of attendees has been leaked to reporters by moles on the inside. Veteran newspaper reporter Jim Tucker has been covering the Bilderberg meetings for over 30 years and has physically attended more than 20. We traveled back to our hotel to see if Jim Tucker received the 2006 list.
First heard about Bilderberg in 1975, and I said, I don't believe it. That's not possible. Who in hell's Bilderberg? I spent 20 happy years with metropolitan newspapers. All the wires are clicking at my ear. That could not happen without me knowing about it. And the thing that first impressed me most was columns in 1957 by the late, great Westbrook Pegler, widely syndicated columnist. He wrote two lengthy columns about how approximately 100 leaders of international finance, heads of state, high public officials were meeting behind armed guards and closed doors on Jekyll Island, sealed off. What are these powerful internationalists doing? And why is it so secret? Why do they have armed guards outside? Why is it sealed off? The newspapers totally ignore it. Not a word. Total blackout in the United States. Since then, I've never stopped pursuing Bilderberg, or the whole international gangster organization led by Rockefellers and Rothschilds, as they manipulate the world for their own selfish interest.
The names people should know.
Well, Bilderberg assumed that name in 1954 at their first meeting as Bilderberg at the Bilderberg Hotel.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like Shakespeare's As You Like It. They say to Shakespeare, what do you want to call this book? And he says, As You Like It, meaning whatever you want to call it. And they thought it was dictation, so one of his plays is called As You Like It, and the title has nothing to do with the play. So that's how the Bilderberg came by their name. Now, they had been meeting for half a century. The moneyed class had been meeting. But they decided they have to meet systematically every year, well planned in advance, in addition to maybe other smaller meetings throughout the year.
Sure this is the right turn, Jim?
No.
No.
Come on, Jim.
I know, right? Telling me, man.
This is the global government. They are setting the world agenda. Inside right now, they're deciding on whether or not there will be a war with Iran. They're deciding whether or not taxes will increase, whether oil prices will be suppressed or increased. There's much more on the agenda that we'll be finding out in the fullness of time. But those are three items that are heavy on their list this year.
This is Jim Tucker, ladies and gentlemen. 27 years covering these crooks.
Tucker, pleasure to meet you.
The media said he was crazy, it didn't exist. Now we forced him.
120 of the world's most powerful men, heads of state from Europe, high officials of the United States government, Treasury, White House, state, defense. They're setting the world agenda now. The reason they want secrecy is because They're doing evil. Evil is done under the cover of darkness. Good works are done in the sunshine.
You're going to hear, well, I guess that's probably it for the evil is done under darkness and good is done under sunshine. I think that's the last of the quick quotes of that. But this guy, Jim Tucker, is actually pretty good. The long video doesn't really talk too much about him. Kind of just brings him in as he's been going over it for 27 years. He's been actually following these guys and trying to report on it as much as possible, but because it's a closed door thing and they rarely give any information, when they went back to the hotel, he did not have the list. I cut that out because it would literally be like 3 hours long, or like an hour and a half long. And it would be literally them just walking to his room, talking about how he did not get the list, and then walking back out. So it's like, okay, I could cut that.
Get the list.
Right, like I could cut that 10 minutes. It's okay. You didn't even probably need to have that in your documentary at all. But it's a good documentary. I will have all the links again in the comment section so everybody can kind of see it. And it seems like Google, or not Google, technically Google. Doesn't Google own YouTube now?
Since a long time ago.
Yeah, right? Okay, good. So Google and YouTube have allowed me and Eddie to have timestamps finally, which is nice. So we will have timestamps on everything so that way you can just jump ahead if you need. But yeah, links are going to be, for everything is going to be in the comment section here. I mean, I guess technically they didn't really talk about much. It just kind of introduced the Logan Act, which we already talked about, which is good. I'm actually kind of glad we talked about the Logan Act before we got into this, because then even it was reinforced by Jim Tucker here at the end, saying that, yes, they are making decisions on Iran, they're making decisions on fucking taxes, they're making decisions on all this. So what kind of questions you got, Eddie?
Well, nothing so far. As the guy showed up, say that he get the list. He was pretty upset.
Yeah.
And he blamed it on Jim.
Okay. Yeah. And they almost made a wrong turn. So into the next thing here. This here is briefly.
This is way before we had GPS. That's why.
It is. This is before. Well, it was 2005. So technically, they might have had a GPS if they bought a Garmin. If they didn't buy a Garmin, then they ain't got no GPS. But you did.
Or they probably would have done a wrong turn as well. They would just have Siri in the background, just saying rerouting.
No, Siri doesn't get that nice. Actually, Siri, when you make a wrong turn, says turn right. Next right. And it's like, okay, I get it. Settle down, Siri. It's okay. I still laugh because one of my buddies actually hates having a woman tell him directions. So he switches it to a man. It's just comical to me. It really is. I got no problem having a woman tell me what's up. To a point. Now, if she's going to get mean with me, then I'm going to change it to a man who might be like, hey, man, I understand. Turn right at the next one, okay? But that's not how the GPS is set up. So this next slide here, I got just, I want to say there's three things we're going to have to look at here. I'm going to ask you right out the gate. This is about people who are involved in the Bilderberg group, okay? So these are people who are included, and Google AI decided to make relatively recent ones, so it's kind of interesting. I'm going to let you maybe go for the left one, because maybe there's harder words on the right one. Does that sound okay?
Go ahead.
Okay.
So you want me to go for the left one, right?
Yeah, so you go first.
Okay.
Because this is what Jim was talking about. Jim Tucker was talking about. There's 120 people in there making decisions for us. So go ahead. Okay, sorry.
Okay. So the Bilderberg meeting draws a diverse group of about 120 to 150 influential people from Western Europe to the U.S. and Canada. Attendees are lenders and experts in their fields, and the group releases a list of participants for each meeting. Typical attendee categories: political leaders, and government officials. This category, why could I not say category?
I should have done the left side.
Includes current and former heads of state, ministers, ambassadors, and other high-level government figures. Examples from recent meetings include 2025, Gabriel Attal, I'm probably going to mess up that last name, Prime Minister of France, Radoslav Sikorski, Polish Foreign Minister, and Mark Rutte, NATO Security General, 2024, Wally Adeyemo, I guess, U.S. Deputy Treasury Secretary, and Dmytro Kuleba, Ukrainian Foreign
I'm actually not even
Minister.
looking at the screen, so yeah, I'm sure.
Whatever. Captain of Industry and Finance, CEOs and executives of multinational corporations, banks, and investment firms are regularly invited. The 2024 meeting included Albert Bourla, CEO of Pfizer,
he's
Alex
currently
Harp,
involved, yeah.
CEO of Palantir Technologies, and Henry R. Kravis, co-founder of the Kohlberg. Oh, Henry, co-founder of Kohlberg, Kravis, Roberts and Co. Put me together.
I did, yeah. So I'm just looking back at the names. Yeah, I mean, Radoslav Sikorski is one you messed up, and then Wally Adeyemo is another one, and then Dmytro Kuleba is Ukrainian foreign minister. I think he did.
Yes.
I think he did okay with the other ones. Okay, so experts from academia and think tanks, scholars, professors, and policy experts who shape global discussions often attend to provide insight. Oh God, these are harder names. Yeah, Niall Ferguson and Applebaum, historian. Lawrence Summers, economist. Kate Crawford, AI researcher, shocker. Media and press executives, editor-in-chief, and prominent journalists from major news outlets are included. See, that's the other thing that's funny, is that the media is there, but it's only the executives, and they do not report any bit of it. So 2025 was John Micklethwaite. I'm pretty sure that's Thwaite. Micklethwaite. I think he should have an easier name. Editor-in-chief for Bloomberg News, and Thomas I. Friedman, The New York Times. Tech and artificial intelligence, AI, leaders in recent years as the Builder Group agenda has focused on AI and digital technology. Many major players in this space have been invited. See, that's the thing that's funny. Like, people don't understand, like, this happens every fucking year. They talk about every single year. They have all these people in here. So, okay, so 2024, Demis Hassabis, CEO Google DeepMind. Satya Nadella, CEO Microsoft, and Eric Schmidt, okay, that's an easy one, former CEO Google, and other influential figures. The invite list also includes royalty and leaders from international organizations like NATO, the UN, and the IMF, which is the International Monetary Fund. So bankers, the UN, and NATO are all involved, and key characteristics of Bilderberg participants. High-level access. Attendees are selected for their for their influence and positions of leadership within their respective fields. Transatlantic focus. The guest list emphasizes figures from Europe and North America to facilitate dialogue between the two regions through participation, and other areas are occasionally participants from other areas are occasionally invited. Diverse perspectives. The steering committee, which is the committee I was telling you about, that one guy was the head of, they pick who wants to be there. The steering committee aims for a variety of viewpoints by inviting individuals who hold different political and ideological positions. Non-official capacity. Attendees participate as individuals, not as official representatives of their governments or organizations. Besides besides the oath they take when they take office, but whatever. This is intended to encourage open and candid conversation. Strict privacy rules. Meetings operate under the Chatham House Rule. Meeting participants can use the information they received but cannot reveal the identity or affiliation of speakers. Which is interesting to think of, right? This here, and I blew it up a little bit on the side. I know, honestly, to tell you the truth, I watched a video of some guy going through this, and it's kind of crazy. But, so, in the middle here, this circle ring is your Bilderberg group, right?
So, like, approximately, like, they said, like, what, 100?
There's like 100, there's like 120, 140 people. Yeah. So, this Bilderberg group here in the middle, this is going to be your connection string, right? And obviously, you're not going to be able to see all the lines that go out. But if you look at the bottom left the bottom left portion of it, you're going to see all the manufacturers that you're used to seeing, right? Ford, FedEx,
like all the
McDonald's,
big corporations.
Target, 3M, all these big, huge corporations. Apple's in there, because I know you like Apple so much. And then if you look on the bottom right portion of it, you're going to see politicians. Hillary Clinton, Bush, Dean, McCain. I think there's another Bush Cheney over there. John Kerry. So, like, there's politicians represented, or at least the heads of their, like, super PACs or PACs, which are political action committees. That's the PAC. That's the PACs that you see. The super PACs are the ones that allowed for even more money to go to these clowns, which we shouldn't have ever allowed, but we did. But yeah, so you can see on this list here, I mean, freeze frame if you need to, but I will have a link to this individual image so that way people can actually like blow it up and kind of like look at the different images that are in there, the different names that are in there. But to tell you the truth, like, just know that it's all the stupid corporate. So if anybody doesn't know, the United States of America is a corporation itself. So they wrote in laws to protect corporations because they want to protect themselves. So the corporations are all going to play well together in this whole group. So they're going to involve all the different corporations, including themselves, with all the politicians, including themselves, to like just do whatever they want. So they protect themselves. So just an FYI for everybody that doesn't know the corporations all take care of themselves. Well, now you do. Now you do, because there's a lot of nonsense that I'll say. What kind of questions you got, Eddie, so far as we're going through the people connected?
I just love that all the corners have different symbolism on this image.
Unbelievable, right?
Yep.
And this is a group that you knew nothing about, right?
Yeah. Like,
okay.
This is the thing. Like, you somewhat like.
Ooh, JCPenney's even in there. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just saw. I just saw something. Like, I don't know. It just popped up like on the corner of my eye. I like their ham and turkey, Sara Lee. I'm like, what do they have to do in here?
Dude, right? Why the fuck is somebody ahead of Sara Lee there? What do they need to know about fucking cutting up ham and turkey slices? Like, come on.
They sell deli meat. What's going on here? That threw me off guard right there. But
that's the thing. McDonald's is in there. Ford's in there. FedEx is in there. Well, obviously Raytheon's in there, which probably makes sense that Raytheon would be a part of the whole thing. Xerox is in there. What the fuck do copiers have to do with this?
Staples, too.
Right. What the fuck are we doing?
Well, they got to supply, my man. They got to show up to these events. And, well, I saw Chase, too.
So that's the other thing, too. Like, if you were a high-level executive at one of these corporations and you got this invite, I bet you're showing up for this fucking thing. Because the other thing, too, is I can understand people who are like, oh, well, they're just there for networking. And it's like, okay, no, I understand. What the fuck is John Kerry's group doing there? What the fuck is George W. Bush's group doing there? What's Hillary's group doing there? What's John McCain's group doing there? If they're there for networking via corporations. So like if you look at the left side, you're like, oh, okay, I can see why Sarah Lee needs to get with Gillette because they need better razors to chop up their fucking meat. Okay, like I can understand that to a point, but like, what the fuck does McDonald's need to do with Hillary Clinton?
Yeah, no, it makes no sense.
Right, nothing. So yeah, as far as people saying that, oh, well, it's a talking group, like in the first video we saw, the talking group. Okay, yeah, clown, fuck you. There's more shit going on. I get it, and the thing that gets me, though, is the fact that they cannot, like, they can take the information that they receive there and move forward with it, but they can't say where they got the information. It's like, oh, okay. So if John Kerry makes a decision on a political act or a bill, and he decides to go against a bill because he had information from the FedEx guys, I guess. It's like, well, what the fuck? He shouldn't be able to make that decision because he was there. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I know John McCain might not have been there, but like people attached to his pack.
I got a big observation.
Yeah,
and this is probably why they just narrowed down like all these companies, because like a lot of these companies are just owned by one big group.
Correct.
So I'm probably just like the head guy of the group, not discouraging whoever put up this image together.
Oh, you're saying because you're George Soros there, you own Siemens and KB Home and McDonald's and Ford and FedEx and...
Yeah, they just like, oh, he's there, so that's what... So
okay. All right. Well, I need you to do more research, son. But okay, go on.
No, I'm just saying. I think that's just the case that like, okay, so like I own all these, because it's crazy how many companies are under one umbrella, which is absurd.
Yeah.
So I just think, okay, the head guy of that umbrella is there, so that's why he just discloses like every single companies that are under his.
Oh yeah. I'm not going to disagree with you there, because that's the unfortunate monopoly rule that we have.
Oh yeah, of course.
We've all grown up with playing the game Monopoly, where you're not allowed to have monopolies, but yet these companies can have monopolies.
Technically, it's not. Well, this is a big air quotes.
Right.
Technically, it's not monopoly.
Right.
Because they're different companies and they have
technically
different...
it's this hedge fund that actually owns this company. So technically, we're not a monopoly because it's through this, but I own all of it, but it's still through this and this. The thing you're missing out on, though, is if you start looking up to the top, there's a lot of GMOs.
Oh, yeah, of course. It's the same
NGOs, which are non-government organizations. And then you'll see the Brookings Institute. You'll see the Rand Corporation. You'll see the Freedom Forum. You'll see the Kennedy Center. You'll see all these random other things. And that's the thing that amazes me, is like when you look at this fucking list, you're like, yeah, that's pretty much everything that everybody sees on a regular basis. Oh, World Economic Forum. Shocker. But, yeah. So, does it say Klaus Schwab up there? I'm trying to look. Yeah.
But yeah, the only reason I tell you that is because when I lived in Mexico, there was like a thing going on about like a monopoly going on.
Yeah.
Like there's this super famous Mexican. He's like the wealthiest. He was in Forbes. Pretty much like his phone company, cell phone and like home phone provider were like the main ones in the whole country.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe, I might be wrong, but I think he got audited for monopoly. And then that's like when all these other phone companies hitting the market.
Dude, I bet you're on to something there.
But if you look into it, he has ownership of all these other companies. Like
Right.
he owns a percentage of all
Right.
these other companies.
Exactly.
So
Just because I own 65% of all these companies, Eddie, doesn't mean I have a monopoly, even though they all own the same shit. Okay. Okay. Back up.
So that's how I like. All before this, like since I was like young, I'm like, really, like,
It's all
like,
bullshit.
he got away with it. But in the good side of all this, so good, like he's well known, and anybody, like even like I know people directly that work through the company or like all these phone companies or whatever. He is like a relatively very good boss. Like he does care about his people.
Don't get me wrong. Like some of these guys are probably okay until the AI takeover. They've just been nice to you.
No. Yeah, no. I'm just saying, like he like it's funny because like when somebody's a leader and we experience this, and it doesn't matter, like they will always talk good about you, even when you're not around. So that's just a quick side note. Like I don't want to put the guy as a bad guy or something. Everybody that
well, you shouldn't also be putting him as a good guy. But okay.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, like, I was just trying to give a little input.
One little side note I'm seeing up here is I am seeing one of the top portions says Trilateral Commission, which is one thing that the guy had mentioned in that first video. He said the Trilateral Commission, and which I don't think he mentioned the Council on Foreign Relations, but that's another one that's actually pretty big. But if you look, do you see up where it says with secret societies, right where it says so in societies? If you look at the Trilateral Commission underneath that, look at all the lines that drop off from that.
Yeah.
All over the board. So, no, honestly, to tell you the truth, and this was, it's funny. The reason I picked this image, even though it has the Osiris eye on the left, top left, it's got the Mason top right, it's got the all-seeing eye on the pyramid that's on our dollar bills on the bottom right, and it's got the Illuminati on the bottom left, is literally because this was the largest image that I could find that didn't get super pixelated. So that's the reason why I have this image in particular. This is Bilderberg Network schematic. Schematic resembles the Eye of Horus, the frequently associated with the secret society of Freemasonry and the Illuminati, which is true. The Eye of Horus, which is top left, is actually in the Freemasons and the Illuminati. So if anybody's ever looking into that, you will see a lot of that imagery. Just an FYI. But yeah, the main reason I have this image is because you can actually see what it says. Ooh, Disney's in there too, fuckers. Yeah, if anybody doesn't know Disney's controlled, then you need to watch the past few years of nonsense that they've released. But yeah, okay. I've said my piece, I think. Any other questions from Eddie or things before we move on to the next thing, which I think is a video?
I think we're all good.
Okay. I think there's one other thing we're gonna have to read later, which I might make you do. Motherfucker. Because I copied this one earlier because I found this today. Because I had an image the other day that I was looking at, right? And it was too small, and so I did the same thing that you mentioned before. Is I copied the first image and threw. No, I could have sworn I copied the last image, but I guess I don't know. Maybe there's gonna be a song at our ending that we're gonna have to fucking figure out. But oh my god, what the fuck, dude? I had this done like last week. I'm kind of pissed. I don't know. Maybe I was going fast. Okay, so this next thing here is gonna be Paul Joseph Watson. I'm pretty sure it's in PJW. Yeah. So Paul Joseph Watson. I would recommend, if anybody hasn't seen him, you will see him on YouTube, as well as he's got a video. He's in band.video. Top right corner, you can see the band.video. That's Alex Jones and InfoWars. That's like their storage site that they've got for all the different videos, which I would recommend going through and watching because there's a lot of information in there that's pretty good. Greg Reese is in there. He's in there. There's a few other people that are in there that are really good. And honestly, to tell you the truth, with how it's going with InfoWars, because it seems like every other month he says he's going out of business. I don't know if that's because he wants you to go to their website and spend money, or if he's really going out of business, or what. But it seems like he always has funds, so I honestly don't know. But yeah, this is Paul Joseph Watson. This is a couple of years ago, just giving us information about the Bohemian Grove. No, I'm sorry, not Bohemian Grove. About the Bilderberg Group meeting. So, any questions you have? Probably not, right? Since we just run into the next one.
No. Let's go right into it.
All right. Here we go.
Over 100 of the most powerful people in the world are meeting behind closed doors right now in Washington, D.C. Wow, the media scrum for this must be immense. Number of legacy media reports about the Bilderberg Group meeting, and it's zero. Bankers, kings, corporate moguls, heads of state, military leaders, billionaires, all in one hotel for 3 days. With zero press scrutiny. Oh, but nothing important goes on there. Their conversations don't have any bearing on world events. Yeah, just like if over 100 of the globe's top soccer players and their agents and their managers and officials from governing bodies all got together for a clandestine confab, it wouldn't have any bearing on the game of soccer. None whatsoever. Just like the Bilderberg meeting in 2002, where they decided that the Iraq war would be delayed until 2003. Lo and behold, it happened. Just like when Etienne Davignon bragged that Bilderberg helped create the euro single currency. Lo and behold, it happened. Just like when Bilderberg discussed the imminent 2008 financial collapse before, lo and behold, it happened. Blair, Clinton and Merkel were all groomed for top office at Bilderberg meetings. Lo and behold, it happened. In 2010, former NATO Secretary General and Bilderberg attendee Willy Claes admitted that Bilderberg attendees are mandated to implement policy decisions that are formulated during the meeting. But yeah, it's just a pointless talking shop. So pointless that while conflict in Ukraine rages, Bilderberg attendees this year comprise a literal council of war. The head of NATO, head of the CIA, head of US National Security Council, head of US Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. And the limited bullet point agenda they publicly released states
they shouldn't be able to talk about Russia.
You'd think that would interest CNN, the New York Times and the rest. No. Would it interest The Economist or the Financial Times? They should know. Their editor-in-chief and chief foreign affairs commentator are both there at the meeting. Also at the confab, chair and CEOs of Shell, BP, Total, Pfizer, UBS, AXA, KKR, Volvo, GlaxoSmithKline, and of course Goldman Sachs International. Big tech is also represented across the board. Google, Facebook, Microsoft. One new face is Labour MP David Lammy, who bills himself as a champion of the poor and the underprivileged, while conspiring in secret with some of the most privileged people on the planet. Well, Lammy's not giving them a dressing down. He's taking his orders. Speculation on Twitter is that the meeting is taking place at the Mandarin Hotel in DC. Roads are blocked off with suggestions they're claiming the government of Hong Kong booked out the entire hotel until the 6th of June as an obvious excuse. Bilderberg operates under Chatham House rules, which means none of the participants are allowed to reveal any comments made during the conference. Not that they'll be under any pressure to do so, since our much vaunted Fourth Estate is more interested in Kim Kardashian talking about eating poop. Democracy dies in darkness.
Oh my God. You know, isn't that the biggest joke ever? How many times have you seen something crazy going on with politics or politicians, and then guess what? The Kardashians are going crazy. It's like, well, who gives a shit? We're talking about going to war, but yet the Kardashians are losing their mind because they had a boyfriend breakup. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
It's got to be top news.
Dude, fucking top news. That's the thing that's always amazed me. Like, whenever I see...
even like a side note. No.
No. This is important, okay? Kim Kardashian might be
Nationwide
upset later tonight, okay? Even though she's a millionaire with nothing but, I mean, you can say she's probably a witch too. But beyond that, whoa, yeah, but beyond that, the thing that's amazing, like, I like that he brings it up though, where he does say Kardashian's eating poop. It's like, okay, this is more important than what these fuckers are talking about. But I am glad that he he showed up the schedule there, because that is something that they talk about. They talk about events that are going on across the pond or across the world. And guess what? That goes against the Logan Act. Like, you cannot talk to our politicians about that shit under secrecy. Like, no. You go to prison. You go to jail. That's it. That's the bottom line. Like, I don't care. Like, if you want to be a politician in the fucking United States of America, or any of the other countries around, because I'm sure they have similar rules, if you want to be a politician, it's the same way I feel about them being invested in stocks, but you cannot talk to other parties about this while you're in power. Afterwards, if you want to bullshit about it, fine. If you want to be invited in there, fine. Whatever, I don't care, because you're no longer making decisions for the United States government. But if you're making decisions for the United States government, you should not be allowed to get insider information from other parties, especially fucking random corporations. Like, let's be serious for a second. But this here kind of outlines that we're not really governed. It's a big fucking group. It's a big, what is it? What does George Carlin say? Yeah, it's a big group and you ain't invited.
Education. Politicians know that word. They use it on you. Politicians have traditionally hidden behind three things: the flag, the Bible, and children. No child left behind. No child left behind. Oh, really? Well, it wasn't long ago you were talking about giving kids a head start. Head start? Left behind? Someone's losing fucking ground here. But there's a reason. There's a reason. There's a reason for this. There's a reason education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right. They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table and figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork, and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later, because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
Like, that's literally what it is. It's all these fuckers are all in league together. They all know what they're doing. They all talk about all these things. But you and I, the random schmoes, are not involved, so we don't know what's going on. So we just watch the news and go, Russia invaded Ukraine? Oh my God! Give me my yellow and blue lapel pin. Let me put this on for every day I show up for work. And make sure I put it in my Twitter and say that they're bad. Oh no. So what do you think, Eddie? You know what I mean though, right? Like, isn't it the biggest joke ever?
Well, that's like a thing that it's sad, but it happens a lot. Like all these
everything.
Like if people really kind of think about it and put a little bit more attention to what actually goes down, like whenever you see like a big multimedia thing, like
Well, let me ask you that as a follow-up.
Media thing. Sorry, not multimedia.
Well,
like media.
no, I understand what you mean as far as a media thing, like a big media coverage. Everybody's talking about the same thing. They go, oh my God, 9/11. So I won't try to go too far into that, but like when you saw everything happen on the news and everybody had the same opinion and had the same videos, guess what? You're a believer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like,
yeah.
When you see those planes crash, guess what? You're like, oh my God, it happened. Oh my God, this is terrible. Oh my God. We need to go to fucking Afghanistan. We need to kill these guys. Yeah, let's go. Oh. And then years later they go, oh, it's Iraq. It's like, what? This is not Iraq. It's like, but we're going anyway. It's like, oh, okay. All right, let's go to Iraq. And then you just take over the museums. But yeah, I'll stick off my ledge. But no, like literally, whenever everybody on the news, when you watch this news channel, this news channel, this news channel, this news channel, guess what you see? All the same fucking thing. Guess why?
It's all scripted.
Produce this.
But
we are concerned about the trouble and trend of irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Yeah, Operation Mockingbird. Literally. Like, I'll put another fucking graphic up because it seems like I'm going to put up a goddamn graphic every single time we make a video about Operation Mockingbird. Like, literally, it's because the CIA takes over and they say, no, this is what you can say. It's like, oh, okay, great, thanks. Ooh, you know what's something I heard interesting the other day? Or no, maybe it was today. Was it today or the other day? CIA. Communism in America. Oh, ho, 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 ho. That's a good question, isn't it?
I don't.
Huh?
I don't know. I don't know what to say about that.
I mean, I might leave it in now. I was thinking about cutting it if you agreed, but I guess not. So whatever, I'm gonna leave it in there. But I mean, honestly, we have no idea what these actual abbreviations mean, right?
Well, yeah, you got a point.
Why would they tell us it's Central Intelligence Agency if it really means something else, right? Why would they tell us that all these things happen? You know, the funny thing that gets me is I remember a long time ago when the Ukraine war, I put up parentheses, hardcore in that, but the Ukraine war, one of the videos was literally from a fucking video game.
Now for Truth or Fake, our daily fact-checking segment. I'm joined for that by Catalina Marchandiabreu. Welcome to you, Catalina. We are seeing on a video on Facebook and Twitter claims by users that a NATO military convoy was hit by Russian missiles in Ukraine. Tell us more about this.
NATO has repeatedly reaffirmed its support for Ukraine, especially some weeks ago when they announced the delivery of new air defenses to fight against Russia. But this military support has opened the door to misinformation online, especially amongst anti-Western accounts on social media. Notably, this one that we have right here today, a Mali-based account on Facebook, a country where anti-Western sentiments is running high. And the caption in French reads, "Ukraine, a convoy of NATO military advisors was destroyed by the Russian army." So we can see some of the comments on the post right here. This post that was posted on October 15th. It's reached a video that's reached over 700,000 views. We can see some of the comments saying, "Hi to President Putin, long live Russia and the equality in the world." And right here, "Long live great Russia and thanks to the new commander." So clearly we're dealing with a very pro-Russian network online that was sharing this post widely on Facebook and on Twitter right here, posting the same caption and the same video each time. We have the video right here that goes with the post where we can see military armored vehicles targeted by rocket launchers. If we fast forward the video a bit, we could see more of these images right here of what is allegedly showing a convoy of NATO military advisors destroyed by Russian missiles. Tom.
Okay, Catalina, what was then the origin of those images? Do we know?
So if we take a closer look to the video right here, we can see that the quality of the image is very poor. Hence, a reverse image search did not yield any results. But if we take a closer look at a screenshot that we did right here, there are several elements that do allow us to cast a doubt on the veracity of these claims. For instance, these perfectly and identical symmetrical explosions that we can see right here. This is not the first time that our staff at the Observers team has seen these similar images coming from video games. So especially from this extremely realistic video game called Arma 3 that recreates military simulations and drills. So we conducted a simple search on YouTube right here with these keywords, Arma 3 tank destroyed. And you can see that this search does yield many extremely realistic video game footage showing military simulations. This one right here, destroying tanks with anti-missile, a battle in Sahara. And by scrolling down, we did find the video that was posted on these fake claims on Facebook and Twitter right here, titled "Ukraine Anti-Tank Missile Destroyed 2 Russian Tanks." So in this video game, these were Russian tanks, not NATO or Ukrainian tanks. We have the screenshot of the video right here on YouTube of this video game that was posted on July 20th, 2022 on the official YouTube channel of Arma 3, this military simulation video game. So we also have this comparison photo right here of the footage that we see online here on the left, and the footage that we see on the YouTube channel, where you can see the exact same missile trajectories right here, except that here the quality is a bit worse, and these realistic video games have been used so much since the beginning of the war in Ukraine that back in February 25th, so just one day following this invasion, the Arma platform sent out a statement saying, "Beware of these videos that surface tagged as videos depicting the current Ukrainian conflict. We are in touch with the media helping to fact-check such videos, and we've indeed fact-checked many of these videos before. So this wasn't the first or the last time that this happened. So not a NATO military convoy destroyed by Russian missiles, but footage belonging to a video game."
It was literally the opening cuts, it was like a cut scene from a video game, or the opening scene from a video game where they were shooting down a plane that was coming over. I can't think of the actual game it was right now, but it was like literally they had a side by side, and I'm going to try to find it and I'll try to put it in here if I can, but it was a side by side of the image that they showed on the news and the fucking video game playing next to it, and it was literally one for one. It was like they were shooting down a plane, and it was like, really? You guys are picking goddamn video games? I mean, I know there weren't a lot of people that played that video game, but really, you're going to put this on the goddamn news as like it actually happened? Like, get the fuck out of here. Damn it, what was that game? I'll find it. I'll put it up there. But yeah, have you seen any crazy shit that you've heard from people that were done in a certain area that aren't like actually real?
What do you mean by that?
Like actually, you being down in Mexico is probably a good option for that. Like, if you ever talk to anybody in Mexico after watching a news program that said that, oh, shit's going sideways, and you talk to people down there and they're like, no, shit's fine.
Not really.
Okay, so shit's still going sideways in Mexico, I guess.
If they hit something like the news, yes. Like,
okay.
It's more than... Obviously, they have, like, their things, but it's, like, in major cities. Like, it's not... Like, here, it can happen
that's
anywhere.
the issue, is you probably don't get much news from Mexico up in America.
Like, if I do, it's more like, you know, because, like, where I come from, it's, like, a relatively smaller town. So,
Yeah.
that's why.
Okay. Small drug lord town.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to say all that, but...
Okay. All right. I'll probably cut that anyway. Don't worry. But yeah, honestly though, with what Paul Joseph Watson here is talking about, as far as everything you've seen, like, all these people who are very important shouldn't be all getting together in secret to talk about random things that are happening around the globe, right?
Just defeats the whole purpose of, like, that law.
The Logan Act, right. I'm actually kind of glad we played that early. Like, literally, the Logan Act talks about not talking about foreign shit. But yet, we got all these clowns together with our corporation leaders, which should have zero input on our political status, right? Like, I don't remember voting for the fucking vice president or president of Google. Like, do you?
No.
I don't think they ask us that, right? I think they just put some random person there. So Google and all these. How about Ford? Like the Ford Corporation. They shouldn't have their president or their CEO. They shouldn't be attending this talking about what's happening in Ukraine or what's happening in Russia. Like, they shouldn't be involved. Like, if they all want to have their own thing, fine. But if you're going to start adding in all the political leaders, and that's where I'm still going to say the goddamn same thing I said before, which is that we need to take money out of politics. So if we get rid of super PACs, which allows these corporations to put millions of dollars, and look it up. I'm not going to lie. Look it up. They put millions of dollars into certain people's coffers so that they can use it for this, that, and the other, or whatever the case. But not going to lie, if I was a politician myself and I had Ford or Lockheed Martin or Raytheon say, hey man, we're going to give you $100 million. I'd be like, really? Oh my God. I can go and have all these dinners. I can go and have all these people. I can have these different things happen. And so this is going to be great for my campaign. They're like, oh, hey, by the way, but you have to say that this is bad and this is wrong.
The only reason
Or we're
that I
taking
will
it back. Go ahead.
The only reason that I would try to say that they get involved with these countries, well, I'm just throwing this out in the air, just to like, kind of like get both sides of it. If they have,
well, no,
major corporations in this state, in the cities, or this and that could get affected by something dealing with the government. If I was to take a guess,
well,
like to try to make sense out of it.
Let's try to go further into what you're talking about because it's kind of vague.
Yeah, like I mean, like let's say.
So let me reframe you, right? So I'm going to reframe you as a corporation that's selling products to the American people. Okay. So from that angle, you're a corporation selling products to the American people. Go ahead and finish.
Well, yeah, if I just had my organization in one single country, I do not have nothing to do in other countries.
Right.
But I
So what are you talking about? Well, let's go further. Go further in that because you seem like you had an argument to start with, but it doesn't seem like it seems like it kind of disappeared when you realized you were supposed to be only from America.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, yes, but if the thing developed and it went so big that now it's in 20 different countries, like guys.
But here's the thing: viewing yourself from an American corporation selling to the American public,
you have no business elsewhere.
Right?
Yeah, that's 100% correct.
So therein lies the big, huge, like, long and short of it is that technically, and that's the way that we, unfortunately, as Americans, and have been in this. What was it? Who was it? It was who was it that brought us to China? Nixon, right? Yeah. So ever since Nixon, we've been kind of viewed as like a huge, huge corporation, not corporation, but like a huge company. Like everybody, it's an open sale for everything, right? So you sell. I'm trying to think what the fuck is the word. I can't think of the word. I don't care. So you can sell now to China. You can sell to America. You can sell to Venezuela. You can sell to every single country in the entire. Open the markets? I don't know. Whatever. So now with our open market situation that we have, where we have a whole country or a whole world that we can sell to, it makes it change your dynamics where you're no longer just selling for America, right? You're now selling to countries all over the world. The issue with that is that if you claim residence here in America, with these rules, technically, you're not supposed to be talking about anything like that. Now, if you do want to discuss, hey, like, this war with Ukraine or this war with this is going to impact our inflow of goods because Ukraine actually is the breadbasket of the Europe, right? You've heard of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So all the wheat, or like a lot of our wheat, comes from there, and there's a lot of products that actually have wheat in it. So I could see that being like a major discussion. But guess what? The fucking politicians shouldn't be involved. Right?
Shouldn't be in what?
Involved. So it should literally just be, if you want to have the Bilderberg Group be just literally all the fucking wealthy business owners, fine. Like, fine, I get it. I don't care. Like, you guys are in control a lot more than you think. But since you're adding in all these politicians and all these political figures or these political action committees and all these different things, this is a problem. So that's what brings up, again, the Logan Act, where they shouldn't be discussing anything that has to do with foreign issues. All the foreign issues should be done in Congress. That's it. Like, that's the long and the short of the thing is that the Logan Act should be proper. It should be right to where any politician wants to talk about foreign affairs, guess what? Should be done in Congress. Should not be done in any secretive thing. Should not be done in any goddamn, like, even off the cuff thing. You know, they shouldn't even be meeting with people in general. Like, say you have a dinner. So, okay, I got a dinner lined up with some guy from Brazil. Okay, great. As long as you don't talk, you know what? If you want to be a fucking politician, get $174,000 a year, guess what? You should not be involved in that conversation with that gentleman from Brazil unless it has to do with maybe... No, nothing. You shouldn't even have to fucking do anything. Like, it's bullshit. Like, that should stop it right there. If you're going outside of America, you shouldn't be involved unless you're a part of the Trilateral Commission or a part of the Council on Foreign Relations, so I can talk to the guy from Bolivia. It's like, okay, stop it. That's the thing. So, like, it's all... And unfortunately, Eddie, if you look at the whole fucking thing, it's all bullshit anyway, man. It's all bullshit. Like, you and I are sitting here, we're looking at fucking videos, watching shit. It's like, it's all bullshit. It's all fake. Like, the shit that we see ain't real. All the shit that we see is just for our entertainment. So we can get fucking jazzed up on different things and be upset about this and upset about that. And they're gonna do whatever the fuck they want. They don't care.
Yep, that is true.
Like, they don't. They don't give a shit. They could care less about how you and I feel. They really are there for themselves and maybe their family. And that's it. Like, maybe their family, I say, because there's even weirder stuff that we can get into. But, like, they're there for themselves, to take care of themselves. And how many politicians have you ever known that isn't looking out for themselves?
I mean, what?
How many politicians have you ever heard of / known that are not looking out for themselves?
Oh, no, well... It's rare. There's probably a few, but...
They don't make it far.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately.
That's the thing. That's the thing. So if you watch, like, I'm watching this one guy on YouTube now. It's a call for an uprising, which makes sense because there should be a call for an uprising. But, yeah, like, whenever I watch his videos, it's like, I'm like, yeah. They're all dirtbags. Politicians, we need to set up all new term limits. We need to take away money from all these clowns, and then we might be able to make some headway forward, or some headway forward. But yeah, what kind of questions you got about Joseph Paul Watson?
Nothing. I think we went way in deep into.
Well, we went a lot further than I thought there. But honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm glad we had the discussion, because literally there's a bunch of shit that's going on behind our backs as taxpayers that they don't want to tell us about. So maybe we should stop paying our taxes. So on to the next. This here is a movie. This is from 2025. This is the 2025 meeting of the Bilderberg Group, which somebody put together, clipped it all together, which is kind of good. There's like a news clip, and then there's something else, and there's something else. So you let me know when you're ready, and we'll roll it.
Is this the video where, like, all the news outlets?
No. I'll probably put that as a cut I did that in the last one, so I'll probably do it again, where it's a cut of all the fucking news media saying this is entirely dangerous to our what did they say? Dangerous to our democracy.
And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're liars and they're danger to our democracy. But yeah, okay. So yeah, nothing. This isn't that. But yeah, you ready for this one? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Tensions between the United States and Russia have dramatically escalated, and now a Russian official is talking about the possibility of World War III.
You're here to talk about the Bilderberg meeting, which is taking place as we speak in Stockholm, in Sweden. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, the big bad Bilderberg boys are back in town.
Yay!
Everybody's favorite group from which wars spring. Rumors of wars, plans for wars, many allege. Of course, they're meeting in Stockholm, Sweden. It's their 71st meeting in 71 years, as I mentioned last week when I did a very brief preliminary. We do have, of course, they release it at the last minute. They're just so accommodating. We do have the list of their topics, many of which are bluntly one word, but I guess we have to go with it. Here's their detailed list: transatlantic relationship. Then we have Ukraine. Then U.S. economy.
Again,
Europe is another one.
Stuff.
Middle East. That's kind of interesting right now. Authoritarian access. Anybody that's not a globalist is an authoritarian. Defense, innovation, and resilience. Then AI, deterrence, and national security. Another one, proliferation. Then geopolitics of energy and critical minerals. And finally, depopulation and migration, 11 topics in all. And as you see that some of those are one word, you could literally drive a tank through them and not even rub on the sides.
Interests me.
But anyway, we have a little bit of footage as I'm describing some of the participants. Thanks to Dan Dix for Press for Truth. He's quite a trooper out there. Anyway, some of the key attendees, we have Albert Bourla of Pfizer. He's becoming a fixture there at Bilderberg. Good for him. Some of the other interesting ones, there's about 140 from North America and Europe like usual. We have Christopher Donahue, the U.S. commander for the U.S. Army in Europe and Africa. We also have, of course, Matthias Daphner of Axel Springer. He's been working with AI creators and promoters to merge and bring connections between the mass media cartel and AI. There's a lot going on there. We see Peter Thiel being tailed by Dan Dix here in that footage as I'm speaking. A very militant behavior as he exhibited there, just marching forward without saying a word. But some of the others are Michael Kratsios, director of the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy. Robert Lighthizer, who in Trump's first term was his trade negotiator. He's returning as a privateer, the Center for American Trade. We also have Samuel Papero, the commander of the U.S. Indo-Pacific branch of the Army. In terms of the country of the UK, we have the Member of Parliament, Jeremy Hunt, who's there. The President of the Bundestag, Julia Klockner. Some other interesting ones. Now, the Bank for International Settlements, the central bank of the central banks, they don't often have someone at Bilderberg. Now they do. Pablo Hernandez, general manager-elect of the Bank for International Settlements. You have Gideon Rachman of the Financial Times, Thomas Friedman of the New York Times, some of the key ones there, but not quite as many. Usually you have like 9 or 10, maybe 11, possibly up to a dozen media sellouts who go in there and collaborate with the globalist movement here, the globalist Bilderbergers, but don't actually ever write about it. So that's a lot of the goings on, some of the people there. And of course, there'll be much more in the days and weeks ahead as I work on my major article about this and look for all the ways that this intersects the different topics, the different participants and whatnot. So we'll leave it there for now, but much more connection-wise with Ditchley a little later on in today's show.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much for that.
I quite enjoyed Peter Thiel fleeing the cameraman with that stern look on his face, like he didn't want anybody to know he was there.
He wasn't terribly happy.
Libertarian, Peter Thiel.
Iran says an unprecedented attack by Israel on its nuclear program is a declaration of war, as Donald Trump warned the country that worse could be to come. The first attacks were launched by Israel's military overnight. Multiple strikes were reported in and around Tehran, as well as the Natanz nuclear facility and a military site in Piranshah near the Iraqi border. Top Iranian military officials and nuclear scientists were also killed. In response, Iran launched drone attacks on Israel as world leaders called for restraint. President Trump said Tehran needs to make a deal over its nuclear program before there is nothing left. Tonight there are reports of further explosions in Tehran.
The Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian has described the attack as criminal. The Islamic Republic of Iran's legitimate and powerful response will make the enemy regret its stupid act, he said.
This is what the streets of downtown Los Angeles looked like on Saturday, as thousands of people took to the streets to demonstrate against the government of Donald Trump and the detention of undocumented immigrants in Southern California.
And Doug Luzader has more now on this ominous war of words from Washington. Doug, this is just troubling. What is the reaction in Washington?
Well, the idea of getting Russia to the negotiating table just seems like it's not likely to happen at this point. This is something that the White House has been talking about. President Trump is clearly frustrated at Russian President Vladimir Putin, and now we've had this exchange on social media. It's not clear what the next steps here are going to be, but there's a lot of pressure coming from Congress for the administration to do more in terms of sanctions against Russia. There's a report in the Kyiv Post now that President Trump is considering lifting some of the range restrictions on weapons that we have sent to Ukraine. I mean, those come with certain restrictions on them as far as, firing deep into Russian territory. If the U.S. were to lift those restrictions, it would give Ukraine a lot more flexibility to go after Russian targets. So this is not something that Russia would want to see. We don't know if this is going to happen, but again, there is this report that it's among the options the White House is considering.
Right. And just to read the president's comment here, President Trump posted to Truth Social, if it weren't for me, lots of really bad things would have already happened to Russia. So what do we think the president's going to do next?
Well, the president is considering lifting these range restrictions. Right. There's also been talk about perhaps economic sanctions on Russia. We have been down this path before. Nothing seems to dissuade Russia from what appears to be Putin's ultimate goal, which would be taking over the entirety of Ukraine.
All right, troubling, something to watch.
So, honestly, that is what Russia wants, is to take over the entirety of Ukraine. But the UN and NATO, which NATO is set up to actually stop the Soviet Union, which is no longer a thing, but yet we still pay for NATO. Shocker. So after watching that, they're seeing a little bit more about current stuff with the Bilderberg Group. Do you think that they should be able to discuss foreign affairs in their corporation group?
No, they shouldn't.
Right?
Corporations should have nothing to do with government, but
no.
Unfortunately, it's well known that a lot of corporations fund a lot of politics.
Exactly. Back to what I was saying.
Sorry, hold on. I rephrased. Donate.
Oh yeah, you're right.
They give donations.
They donate to a certain super PAC. And yet that super PAC is not supposed to make any decisions based on their donation, right? Allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should say we're a satire site. This is all satire. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so honestly, if anybody's really paying attention, all these corporations are making huge donations towards these politicians to do something based on their outcome. So if anybody wants to say that we're false in that, guess what? Look it up. Look it up, man. What are these politicians doing after there was a big, huge donation? Like, look, you got Xi behind him, you got Putin over to the side. So China and Russia are together, obviously, and I don't see any American representation there, but
I think so.
I don't think so either. I don't know what this next thing was. I forget. I cut it off early. But I think it was just like them marching through and whatnot. But still, honestly, the Bilderberg Group should not have anything related to our politicians, but yet they do. So every year, they've been meeting with corporations and politicians, or at least people in charge of their super PACs, which, again, are political action committees, PACs, PAC. And I want everybody to look that up and see, who donated this year to this super PAC? Who donated this year to this super PAC? If you actually look back and you see this was donated to this group, and guess what? This is the outcome that happened. You will start to question shit. You'll start to question, we really should take money away from it. Big joke is, and I'll probably put it in here too. I will put it in here because I think I got the clip already. Was Obama flipping on super PACs. It was like there was a video that I put on one of my Good Day Talks years ago, where it said, we need to get rid of super PACs. And sure enough, I put a video together that has Obama saying, we need to get rid of super PACs. They're ruining the world, blah, 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 blah. Then literally gets a big, huge donation from super PAC. And he's like, super PACs are okay.
In my State of the Union address, I warned of the danger posed by a Supreme Court ruling called Citizens United, a decision that now allows big corporations to spend unlimited amounts of money to influence our elections.
All across America, special interests have poured millions of dollars into phony front groups. You've seen them. At a time of such challenge for America, we can't afford these political games.
And what is at stake is no less than the integrity of our democracy.
Because in a democracy, powerful interests must not be allowed to drown out the voices of ordinary citizens.
And as long as I'm your president, I'll never stop fighting to make sure that the most powerful voice in Washington belongs to you.
Fox News alert on an about face for President Obama.
President Obama is actually reversing course. The president seems to be having a change of heart,
asking his top fundraisers to embrace the pro-Obama super PACs.
Obviously on record for standing up against super PACs.
Think of the sad commentary on where we are.
The Obama campaign says it doesn't want to fight with one hand tied behind its back.
I have a soft spot.
This is part of a pattern of behavior with Barack Obama that goes back to 2008.
When he opted out of public financing in the 2008 cycle and went on to raise more than anyone had ever raised.
The president's going to continue to fight for ways to reform that system in the future. But
you don't get to change the rules if you're not in control of the car.
We can't unilaterally disarm. We have to operate our campaign under the rules that exist right now.
Would I love to take some of the big money out of politics? I would.
This campaign is making a decision that the rules are what they are, and they cannot play by a different set of rules.
It may mean more money, but will it brand him as a hypocrite?
I don't think anybody's really going to care. They're more concerned about jobs, the economy, and things like that.
It's like, okay, because you got $100 million. Is that why? It's like just such a joke. Just such a joke. But yeah, any questions you got about 2025 Bilderberg Group getting together?
No. It's just, I guess, the concern of what they talk and what actually goes down in those meetings.
Which we'll never know about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the joke. That's the joke, man. So, Here's how many of the Bilderberg group. Well, so I originally started putting this together, right? This next little clip here that we're going to have to read about. I literally put this together because of the video I was originally going to put in there, which is about the World Economic Forum and the New World Order and all this. So I did ask the question, how many of the Bilderberg Group are World Economic Forum leaders? Because it's a very important question, and it really is. And so I'm going to read the left, you'll read the right, yeah? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So AI overview. There isn't a specific number, but there's significant overlap between numbers of the Bilderberg Group and leaders of organizations affiliated with the World Economic Forum, WEF, with sources indicating many powerful figures attend both. For example, a 2013 document found that a majority of WEF strategic partners were also Bilderberg members. And current examples include leaders of the UN, the United Nations, IMF, International Monetary Fund, and NATO, which I don't know what that means, who are Bilderberg attendees. Key individuals and connections. High-level overlap. A significant number of individuals who hold leadership positions in international organizations that are often considered part of the global elite and which frequently interact with the WEF, World Economic Forum, are also attendees of the Bilderberg Group annual meeting. Examples of overlapping leadership, these include former and current leaders of the organizations such as the United Nations, the International Monetary Fund, NATO, I don't know why they don't spell out what NATO is, and the European Union. So, okay, you're on the next.
Shared organizations and influence. The presence of the same individuals in both the Bilderberg Group and as leaders or participants in WEF-affiliated organizations underscores the close relationship between these influential global forces. Why these connections exist. Networking and influence. Both the Bilderberg Group and the WEF serve as platforms for powerful individuals to discuss global issues and potentially influence policy and business.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
Career advancement. The exclusive nature of these meetings provide opportunities for elite, I like the word elite, career advancement and the building of strategic relationships within the global governance and business communities.
So honestly, like I said, if you were told that you got an invite to go to this thing, you should show up. Because you are an executive and blah, 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 blah. So the career advancement, I agree 100%. Networking and influence, okay, no, I get it. But the thing that gets me is still the politician aspect of it. So the United Nations shouldn't be involved. The European Union shouldn't be involved. NATO shouldn't be involved. If the International Monetary Fund wants to be involved, fine. Fine. I get it. There's got to be some type of link somewhere there, right? Even though it's a global economy, that's I think the word I was looking for a little bit ago. But even though it's a global economy, I get it. But really, we gotta stop, man. Okay, good. So going into this next thing here, Eddie, I think you'll like, because this is going to be a quick little, it's a little bit longer than the other videos we've seen today. But this here is going to give you a quick little recap. And he's a British guy, too, which I think you like British guys. Yes, very much
bottle of water. Oh.
That was not British at all, but okay.
No, that was terrible. That was terrible.
So, we'll get you to learn British
accent.
Yeah, we'll get you a British accent before you. So, if everybody wants to pay $100,000, we will get Eddie to have a British accent. Okay. So if we get 3 people to spend $100,000, we will get British accent put on Eddie. But otherwise, this here is good. I watched this one. Honestly, this is the one I decided to switch out for a long 20-minute video. This is about 11 minutes. Yeah, I think it's about 11 minutes. I think I stopped before his end. So this here is just going to give a quick little quick little recap on everything.
Overview of everything.
Beginning, middle, end-ish, even though the Bilderberg Group still meets every fucking year, and they still talk about our future every single year, even though the corporation should have zero input on our future, but they do. So, any questions from Mr. Eddie before we roll into the quick recap?
No. Let's see what this guy has to talk about.
I think you're kind of excited to hear this guy because he's British and bald. You like bald guys.
No.
All right, here we go. Ready?
Go for it.
Cool.
Masons, the Illuminati. These are secretive organizations that many people suspect have extreme nefarious influence on society around the world. But they seem like small fries compared to the Bilderberg Group, an annual gathering of many of the wealthiest and most powerful people in the world to make plans regarding global issues. It's as if the group was created with the specific attempt of drawing the suspicion of conspiracy theorists. So who is this shifting group? What has officially been attributed to or blames on them? Are they even something to worry about? Well, we'll see if we can find any answers from the available data. Number 10. The beginning.
10.
Just about every source on the Bilderberg meeting says that they began at the Hotel de Bilderberg in Oosterbeek in the Netherlands in 1954. Truth was that planning and organizing began in 1952, to some degree as a response to Greece and Turkey joining the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and making it clear to many of the elites of Europe that the fight against communism in the USSR and China needed a more coordinated effort. As such, reportedly, the first meeting was primarily centered on how to handle Germany's entry into NATO, which was such a fraught issue that it dragged on into the 1955 meeting. From the beginning, the conceit of the meetings was that there would be roughly 130 participants, and that roughly 2/3 of them would be Europeans, while the rest were North American. Usually, only roughly 1/3 of the participants are politicians, with the rest being business figures, members of academia, media personalities, etc. Presumably, they had little idea how much paranoia their first meeting would generate over the years. Number 9. Henry Kissinger. To many, one of the more sinister figures who has often attended Bilderberg Group meetings is this former US Secretary of State. He is known to have gone to meetings in the 1990s and every meeting from 2016 to 2019. Considering Kissinger's support for human rights violating military dictatorships in South America, such as Argentina's Jorge Videla or Chile's Pinochet, and his pushes to bomb civilians in Vietnam and Cambodia, it's understandable many would not want him in a position of such influence. Kissinger himself did very little to lessen the fears his involvement generated. For example, during the 1992 meeting, he reportedly said, "Today Americans would be outraged if UN troops entered Los Angeles to restore order. Tomorrow, they will be grateful." Given the notorious distrust many Americans have to the UN in general, to say nothing of pretty much every nation's resistance to regime change, and this seems like it was as deeply out of touch then as it is now. Number 8. Protesters. In relatively recent years, meetings by the Bilderberg Group have drawn angry people holding signs that say things like "Stop New World Order" or "Smash the Empire." Crowds for these protests have been known to get as large as hundreds of people. It's meant there have been some counterintuitive groups protesting together. For example, in 2012, both the far-right Tea Party movement and the far-left Occupy Wall Street movement were standing with 9/11 truthers. To date, there haven't been any reported instances of the protesters turning to violence, and armed protesters seem to be rare enough that in the aforementioned 2012 protest, only one was known to have brought a gun. By far, the highest-profile protesters of the Bilderberg meetings are Alex Jones and Jesse Ventura. Jones travelled to Bilderberg meetings, including to Hertfordshire in the UK in 2013. Jesse Ventura began in 2009 with an episode of the True TV programme Conspiracy Theory, wherein he alleged that the group was proposing plans to thin out the population through a combination of diseases and vaccine while attempting to infiltrate the meeting. Considering that Conspiracy Theory ran for 2 more seasons after that episode, we can at least take comfort in knowing that they don't have the power of silencing just anyone they want. Number 7. Brexit. Attacks against the Bilderberg Group were given a real shot in the arm in 2016 when it was accused of pushing the Remain movement during the Brexit referendum. As early as March 14th, 3 months before the momentous referendum vote, Conservative MP Philip Hollobone stood before the House of Commons and claimed that the Bilderberg leaders would be ganging up against the British people. Members of the right-wing party UKIP had been publicly accusing Bilderberg of supporting pro-EU parties in Britain since 2013. It was given roughly the same amount of attention and criticism as President Barack Obama's official visit. The claim was given a bit of credibility by the fact that the Bilderberg website did claim that Brexit would be an agenda item for that year's meeting. On the other hand, the meeting wasn't until June 8th, only a fortnight before the referendum vote, and that the attendees were explicitly not bound by the conventions of their office or pre-agreed positions. It's hard to imagine what they could have done to sway the referendum vote the other way, even if they'd decided they had to. Number 6. Unlisted guests. On paper, the Bilderberg organizers seem remarkably open about admitting who their attendees are. It was well known that Bill Clinton went to a meeting in 1991 when he was still the governor of Arkansas, perfectly timed to reinforce the idea when he was elected president in 1992 that Bilderberg was a collection of kingmakers. That was only further reinforced when then obscure MP but later Prime Minister Tony Blair attended in 1993. Still, when a meeting is so informal, it means a lot can happen simultaneously above and below board. For the May 13, 2019 meeting, it drew a lot of attention that both Jared Kushner and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo were going to attend. Reportedly, Pompeo was attending primarily to try and sell the other attendees on supporting the US pressure campaign on Iran. It turned out that Pompeo wasn't actually invited to attend the event, though Kushner had been. While future trade deals would implicate that Pompeo was unsuccessful, some sources claimed that he wasn't even allowed in, it raises the distinct possibility that there were unannounced, maybe even not officially invited, attendees. Number 5. The 2010 leak. One claim often put forward by the Bilderberg Group is that to keep the meeting more informal, there aren't official minutes taken. Presumably, the wealthy and powerful will be more willing to say what's really on their minds if there's not going to be a written record. But as came out in 2010, if that claim that there are no minutes taken is true, it didn't used to be the case. In October of that year, WikiLeaks released the supposedly non-existent minutes of the meetings from 1955 to 1958, as well as the 1960 meeting, 1963, and finally 1973. Beyond that, the 2013 book, edited by Roosevelt Institute senior researcher Giles Scott Smith and Valerie Orberg, Atlantic Euro-Atlantic or Europe-America, included citations of the 1966 Steering Committee minutes. While none of the published minutes name any names or contained shocking revelations that confirmed any conspiracy theories, they strongly indicated that Bilderberg meetings were more thoroughly documented than the public was led to believe. Number 4. One world government. As expected of an international organization of privately meeting powerful people, some of the protesters have accused Bilderberg of having the aim of establishing a one world government. Many end-times Christians do not want that because the 17th chapter of the New Testament book, Revelation, supposedly says such a government will be a sign of the apocalypse. If there are any members or organizers of Bilderberg meetings that want to dispel their reputation, then in 2001, during an interview with the Guardian Labour MP and former Defence Secretary Lord Dennis Healey, cheerfully said about just the worst thing possible. While dishing on the various attendees from old meetings, such as claiming that Bill Clinton in 1991 was only there to glad hand and that nobody thought he would be the next president, Healey said, "To say we were striving for one world government is exaggerated, but not wholly unfair." He went on to talk about all the wars, poverty, etc. that international conflict generated. But there was no contesting that he provided a near-perfect pull quote for any conspiracy theory who wants to paint the meetings as having a devious globalist agenda. Number 3. Connection to the Third Reich. In addition to the one world government accusations, anti-Bilderberg people can point to the fact that one of the founders, Prince Bernhard of the Netherlands, joined the Nazi Party in 1933. In fact, he joined the infamous SS in 1934. Bernhard claims that he only did this to avoid some university tests, and that when he met Adolf Hitler in person, it was to renounce his German citizenship. Supposedly, when Bernhard was married in 1937, Hitler Cattoli was the only head of state in Europe that didn't send him a wedding present. To Bernhard's credit, by the time World War II started, he'd abandoned his Nazi connections about as firmly as he could. In 1940, he led Dutch troops against the Wehrmacht, and when the Netherlands fell, he escaped with some of his troops to the UK. In 1942, he became a pilot with the Royal Air Force. His most notable missions included organizing food drops for starving Dutch citizens in what became known as Operation Manna, which would actually continue after the end of World War II as part of the Marshall Plan to rebuild Western Europe. He was also responsible for bombing V-1 launch sites. By 1944, he was leading all Dutch troops in the liberation of the Netherlands. He had the satisfaction of being present for the Third Reich surrender. So to say there's a strong Nazi connection to the Bilderberg group is just a little bit misleading. Number 2, the cancelled meeting. For all the protests and attempts at infiltration, there's only been one year when the Bilderberg meeting was cancelled. That year was 1976. To understand it, we have another entry devoted to Prince Bernhard. Since the end of World War II, he had such credits as helping to start the World Wildlife Fund in 1961, but by 1976 he was accused of making bad life choices again. In February 1976, arms contractor Lockheed Aircraft Corporation, which later merged into Lockheed Martin, admitted that it had bribed Bernhard $1.1 million to accept F-104G starfighter jets into the Dutch Air Force. Bernhard would never be officially cleared of the bribe charge, and where exactly the money went would never be determined. But since 1976 was in the wake of America's disaffecting Vietnam conflict, the anti-war sentiment was strong enough in the country that none of the invited Americans were willing to attend the scandal-ridden monarch's meeting. By modern standards, it feels like a fairly quaint scandal to cancel a momentous meeting of captains of industry and monarchs. Number 1, hosting headaches. As Lord Dennis Healey claimed while spilling the beans on the meetings, for the host country, Bilderberg isn't so much an honour as it is a headache. Even if those crowds of protesters haven't turned violent, just the cost of law enforcement to protect around 130 figures with worldwide influence is so costly that in 2013, the UK taxpayers had to shell out £1.3 million for a meeting near Waterford. That's to say nothing of the cost of renting out 5-star hotels for 4 days of meetings. On the bright side, the event is almost always corporate sponsored. Sponsors offered to compensate the UK taxpayers £500,000 of that 2013 bill. Also, while there are no attendance fees, every invitee is expected to cover their own travel and room costs. It could be argued that it's not reassuring to know that corporate sponsors are buying access to the rich and powerful, to such an extent that former Google CEO Eric Schmidt attended a meeting in 2019. It's also not reassuring how insistent Bilderberg is that the meetings aren't influential. So I really hope you found that video interesting.
So, besides the fact that I love that it costs 1.3 billion pounds, and they're like, we'll pay back 500,000. It's like, okay, great, thanks. So they just paid,
make up for it.
yeah, 800,000 pounds. All of them for the taxpayer. Just so that these rich fucks, these billionaires, can literally go and meet in private. They had to pay $1.3 million. Wait, billion? Did they say billion? They did say billion, right? $1.3 billion. But yet they're getting paid back $500 million. It's like, no.
Sounds like a fair trade.
Right, yeah. So this guy definitely is a part of the shill group, right?
Probably.
He's definitely part of it. Come on now. He said it was okay. It was fair that they only had to pay 500,000 or 500 million. But no, honestly, to tell you the truth, this guy, I like the way that he put it all kind of like together, because he did kind of give out some information, like Bill Clinton being there a couple years before, and that, which is another video that I could have put in there, but it was way too fucking long. Literally, Bill Clinton went there when he was just governor of Arkansas, and then literally 2 years later, he's president of the United States. It's like, oh, okay. So you made your connections while you were there. That's for sure. So, what else did you see from this guy? Or did it kind of go way too fast?
It kind of went too fast.
Dude, right? Like, I was remembering things as I was watching it again. Like, okay, this. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this. And I want to talk about this. And he went in the next thing, next. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck I was going to bring up. There's too many things to bring up. Because this guy is like all the shit that you see on YouTube, all the shit that you see on the news, where they go over it in all of 30 seconds. And it's like, no. That's like a 30-minute conversation. Stop it. Like, slow down. Let's talk about A. Let's talk about B. Let's talk about C. And then maybe we can start talking about D, E, F. But, like, let's start talking about this shit. Because this shit is interesting. And it essentially rules our fucking lives.
To some degree, you are correct.
Yeah. No. Like, they... Tell me, okay, so let me ask you this, Eddie. Just because I know you're at a 5 right now, because you're going to be a little bit further up as we go on here, but do you think that a meeting every year where there's no news reporters, right? You saw that. There's no news reporters. There's no minutes besides what they said in 2010 where the minutes actually came out. But I'm sure they're scripted minutes. Do you believe that a meeting of all the wealthiest business owners, corporation owners, like you've seen in that list of all the fucking people that are connected, and the politicians don't have any say on what we do next?
Oh, no, 100%.
Right?
Like, well, yeah, no, that's like, yeah, of course they have. They probably have an impact so big that we can't comprehend exactly like, how far does it go?
You mean that's an alert level 4, right?
No.
What would your alert level be on that if they've been meeting for over 70
I'd probably
years?
give it like a 7.
7 to 8, right? Like, that's
like,
pretty apparent that there's a fucking impact on what we do moving forward.
Yeah, because like we said, we don't know what goes out at all.
Right.
Not nothing. Absolutely nothing. So who knows what says, what gets, what, yeah, like everything that goes down in this.
Ooh, we have no idea what they say. But let me ask you a follow-up question. So you know how, like, the politicians are heads of certain, like, organizations, right? Or certain, like, groups where they talk about, like, we have a whole group on AI that we fund additionally on top of their already paid salaries, right?
Yeah.
So who's to think that the AI group isn't there with all these tech billionaires who are also there doing AI, talking to these guys, and guess what happens?
What happens?
We have less regulation on AI. Guess what? That's just like the big beautiful bill that just got passed, which I am super suspect of, because it literally has less regulation on AI. It's a 1,000-page bill, over 1,000 pages. How can you have a bill that's over 1,000 pages that doesn't include multiple subjects, right? Like, it has to. Like, there's no way that you can literally write about a single subject for over 1,000 pages, right?
It's like I said, it's just always goes to the same thing. They always lie to everybody in plain sight. So
yeah, it's right in your face though. And then the only joke is you'll see whatever news articles or news clips that they'll put out there, like about a specific thing. It's like, oh, this is going to do this. And it's like, okay. What about the other 900 pages? Like, what else did you guys find? Nothing? You didn't find anything else that you guys were upset with?
No, just that. That's
just the one thing for you guys to learn about for all of 30 seconds. We're never going to bring this back up on our show. It's like, oh, okay, great. That's the other thing that's amazing, too. Like, you'll see something that actually irritates you and upsets you, and they'll never bring it up again. Unless it's on, like, a super, like if you're watching, like, certain anchors on Fox News that are super, like, ultra-Christians. It's like, okay, so you'll hear this brought up a couple of times, but you won't bring up the 3 other things that he himself talked about multiple times. Now you're going to bring it up that's it. Once you heard it that one time or the 2 times, it's over. And now we're on this main thing. And it's like that's the thing that gets me, man. It's literally just more of division. It's dividing you and me and the other guy and trying to keep everyone divided so we don't all get together and say, we ain't paying our taxes. We ain't paying for this fucking government anymore. So that's why we're on Rumble. But other than that, any other questions you got about Salmon Whistler, who's the host, before we go to the next thing?
No, I think we're good.
All right. So, thank you all again very much for watching. We appreciate it a ton. Our monocle overlords appreciate it also.
Double monocle.
Double monocle.
They're not glasses, just FYI.
They're not glasses. No, you can't see any lens. There's no frame. There's no side pieces. They're literally double monocles. But honestly, to tell you the truth, I feel like Eddie learned a little bit about the Bilderberg group today.
But yes, but also too, like, I wouldn't go so high, like, on I'll probably go to like a half a point because, like,
dude, don't. I was literally about to say about a 0.5, but I was joking in my head. I didn't think you were literally
because
gonna say that.
Like, here, this is something that, like, it's not.
We all kind of know about it because they put it in the movies and the TV shows.
It's not that. It's not that new about. Like, it's nothing new. Like, yes, of course, we see it all the time.
We're
how
controlled by the billionaires and the corporations.
And like what's it called? Like, yeah, pretty much the people with the money control a lot of things.
Yes.
In our society. Yes, we all know that. So that's why I wouldn't go too high.
Okay. But Eddie said a 5.5.
Exactly.
Yeah, motherfucker, you were gonna say no. I'm gonna lower.
No. I literally was just stretching. That's all I was doing.
All right, good. So Eddie is at a 5.5. The good news is at least he still has a suit, so he can go on interviews, even though he's got black jeans on. But at least he's got a coat. He has no tie, but that's all right. I need to ultimately barter my T-shirt for a suit, so hopefully I can get me a suit, and then we can maybe apply for one of these jobs at these corporations that are looking down on us. You know, I do kind of like this image. I'm not going to lie. I do wish you had eyeballs, but that's all right.
Too much to ask.
Haha.
It's too much to ask AI for.
I mean, it is difficult to assume that they would put like normal characteristic features on human beings, but I guess it is too much. I am glad that all of our top hat wearing Bilderberg group is looking down from us, and we're outside of the gate. We're not allowed in. The gate is closed to the Bilderberg group mansion. But yeah, so originally it did start with the Bilderberg group mansion. That's how they got their name, if you don't remember from the video. And as you saw throughout, they do have politicians as well as corporations all together to talk about our future and to think that they're not having any influence on our politicians and the ways that they vote is foolish. Take a look at super PACs, because super PACs are a real thing, and there's millions and billions of dollars going into all of these super PACs to tell these politicians how to think moving forward. So again, if anybody needs to do anything, we all need to get together and remove super PACs. Because you and I think we've talked about this before, actually, because it sounds familiar in my brain. But if you and I were to go and actually give money to a politician, you know how much we can give?
How much?
Like $3,500.
That's nice.
Right. So like on an individual level, you can give $3,500. Guess what? If you're in a super PAC, you can give millions of dollars. So
That's right.
Guess who they're gonna listen to? You think they're gonna listen to fucking you and me if we give them $7,000? No. Versus $1 million? Like, okay, well this guy says I got $1 million to go and say no on this bill. And these clowns gave me $7,000 to say yes to it. What do you think they're gonna do?
Well, they're just gonna go whatever says the one with they give them the most money.
They're gonna go with the $7,000 one because these were the people. Right. Exactly. So yeah. So we need to take away money from the politicians. That'll help. Also, if we can give them no income every year, that'd be a big benefit too, because then they would stop them from even joining. But yeah. So yes, the Bilderberg Group is a question that everyone has to actually think of and actually go and investigate a little bit of. So we gave you a little bit of information here. There's a ton of videos. You will see videos in my comment section that I've got. And Google, again, like I said, Google and YouTube will allow us for timestamps. So you will see timestamps on all of our videos moving forward. Fingers crossed. Unless they change their mind. But yeah, thank you again for watching. We appreciate it a ton. There's a lot of information coming. The next couple things we got Black Hawk helicopters over the United States, which will be interesting because I still am trying to figure out how the hell I'm going to do that because I have both books, but I can't figure out how I'm going to find videos. Maybe I'll find videos. And then the other one is actually Bohemian Grove, which I actually have videos for. So we'll see how that goes. But otherwise, Eddie, besides being at a 5.5, how you feeling about our future, my guy? We got a lot of fucking. There's like 300 something pages still to go in this book, man.
But just say thank you to everybody.
Yeah, please.
To listens to it, and we appreciate it, and try to keep it going.
We do appreciate it a ton. We would be nowhere without people watching. So thank you guys again. So yeah, other than that, XOXO Eddie, right?
Yep.
That's it. Well, thank you guys. Have a good rest of the day, and take care.